Well, greetings interwebs. Got a big surprise for you today. My sister's here. Cynthia's in town from Alabama, and she's gonna make us some Brunswick stew. Cynthia, come on in and tell everybody what you got going on. By the way, this is my sister Cynthia.
Hello everybody. I wasn't really expecting to make Brunswick stew. This is something I normally make when my husband smokes a butt on his smoker. We use the leftover meat. But since I'm here, we're going to just use what the store has. All of this is at Winn-Dixie. Nothing special. This is very, very simple, I promise.
And the crux of my cooking show is to show you how to make easy things at home that people with limited skill can do. As you see, it's all pretty straightforward stuff we got at Winn-Dixie. Nothing complicated.
And not even that expensive, for that matter. And the beauty of this, like I said, I normally do it in my crock pot. Takes about 8 hours. We're going to do it on the stove. Take about 45 minutes or so, or until the potatoes are soft. So that's pretty much it for right now for that.
Okay, so here's what we're working with today. Salt and pepper, a little butter. I'm using salted because, well, that's just what I had. Pulled pork, a can of chicken, can of corn, can of lima beans. You can use regular lima beans or frozen lima beans, but apparently this just goes quicker. Tomato sauce, and we have 2 different kinds of diced tomatoes just because that's what I had. Barbecue sauce, Texas Pete, you can use Tabasco or whatever, Louisiana. I just happen to have Texas Pete, and some potatoes. So, okay, let's see what my sister has to say about all of that. Well, where do we start?
Let's start with, do we have an onion?
You get going on that.
We're going to be chopping up some potatoes and onions. So I'm sure that he'll do all the editing and take out the boring, dull parts. But what we need is just a regular bag of potatoes. Take out about 4 or 5 of them, however many you want. I'm making a smaller batch, so I'm only going to use, I guess I'll use 4 of them. We kind of like potatoes.
That or more?
A little bit, well, that should be fine. Yeah, just an onion, regular, don't need anything special. Potato peeler.
I always leave the skins on. That's just me.
Well, no, potato peeler. My stew. My monkeys, my circus. Wow, yours does not work as good as mine.
Don't worry, I'll speed this up for you.
Yeah, I got to get the hang of his potato peeler. It don't work like mine.
Yeah, I'll push this through 5,000 times speed.
Yeah.
Zip, 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 and you'll be done. Tell you what, you want to cut the onion and I'll peel?
Yeah,
I
because
can burn
this
through that
is...
pretty quick.
Here, we'll swap.
That's what I find military training.
Yeah, well, I noticed you're pulling it where I push it, because potato peeler you're supposed to push.
Hey, don't push it.
The pink-skinned sense of humor.
Bad pun.
Yeah, I got the dad jokes in abundance. Another Winn-Dixie device. The grocery bag.
Yeah, that's something else. Usually when I peel potatoes, I actually peel them into the bag so that, you know, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, I normally just leave the peels on. So, I don't peel a lot of potatoes.
Oh.
Why, Cynthia, what's that on the back of your shirt? It says Crawdaddies. What is that? Tell us.
Crawdaddies is a company. My husband, bless his heart, is a colorblind artist. Yes, I kid you not. But he custom paints.
With only one eye.
With only one eye, yes. But he custom paints crankbaits for bass fishing. He does jerk baits, swim baits, rattle traps. But he loves doing the crankbaits, and he even carves out and makes his own balsa crankbaits. So, and this is his company, is Crawdaddies.
He tests each design to make sure they work before he starts making them. If they don't work, he don't make them. If they don't work,
he don't make them. He will not sell anything that he has not fished and proven.
Even if you don't fish, these things are gorgeous. They're like works of art. The link is going to be in the description. You can go check them out. It's Crawdaddies.
Crawdaddies Custom Crankbaits. You can find them on Facebook. We no longer have a web page because they went up so high on what is the internet where you have to link up. Anyway, the cost got a little astronomical on us, so we shut down the website. But check them out on Facebook.
Now then, where were we?
Okay, what we're gonna do
before our paid solicitation. Yeah. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Now that we've got the onions and the potatoes diced up, they don't have to be small, just, you know, good dices. I'm gonna take the meat, just dump it in the pot. We're just gonna dump everything together. And once we get it put together, these bowls, by the way, pro tip, save the bowls. They're great for storage.
Great, make for nice, pack something for lunch.
Yep, you can just pour it in. This is barbecued pulled pork. Like I said earlier, I usually use what my husband cooked on the smoker.
This is just something we got at Winn-Dixie.
Yep, pick it up at Winn-Dixie. We're gonna use a large can of chunked chicken breast. Pro tip, take a fork, just bust it up, because if you cook it while it's still chunked, it's gonna stay chunked. Break it up and it'll go through your stew beautifully.
Of course, drain it first.
Drain it first, yes. Just like tuna fish, you want to drain it. Tomatoes. I prefer diced tomatoes. You don't need all the fancy flavoring, just tomatoes.
And do not drain them.
Do not drain them. We're gonna do 2 cans. This is just what we had.
Yeah, we didn't get tomatoes at Winn-Dixie because I got a cabinet full, as you've seen in other videos. I've always got diced tomatoes.
And 1 can of tomato sauce.
Which I did not have.
Well, he did, but it's sodium free.
Yeah. Somebody gave me a can of sodium free. Yeah.
I generally use frozen corn and lima beans. You need 15 ounces. These are 15-ounce cans. Canned, frozen, your preference.
Drain them first.
Drain them. They don't have to be drip dried. Just drain the bulk off. You're just dumping everything in.
Onions.
Go ahead and put the onions in. We can scrape the potatoes in. I'll use my hand. Yes, I did wash my hands before we started.
Washed all the Alabama off our hands.
Not really. Okay. This is, you just salt and pepper it to taste. You know, I'm a Southern cook. I just do what the gods tell me to do.
That looked like around about a teaspoon.
Maybe. Pepper you want probably.
These are so hard to open.
Especially when you got arthritis.
No, it's just this is a really hard can to open.
You probably want about, I'd say, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. You don't have to go too crazy with it.
Wait, are we making a dish on my channel without garlic salt? Heresy.
Yes, he was brokenhearted when I told him put the garlic up.
I know. Crush my heart.
This is the part that I'm having issues with. I don't measure. I never measure. I know you're supposed to use about 1/4 cup.
Yeah, this would be 1/4 cup.
So I'm doing this for your benefit, not for mine. You just.
Does this come off? Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Thank you.
That was annoying.
So quarter cup, give or take, depending on your taste buds. We have a debate going on about Tabasco sauce is Tabasco sauce. He swears it's not.
She likes Louisiana. I like Texas Pete. But the king of the hill for me is sriracha.
And then we're going to use just barbecue sauce. Doesn't have to be a plain, doesn't have to be a flavor, just barbecue sauce.
One
Your
and
choice.
1 1/4 cups.
1 1/4 cups, roughly.
Thereabouts. Is this some?
No, it's 1 1/2 cups
Or one-
barbecue. Look,
Oh, yeah.
put your glasses on.
Yeah, on the glasses on. Yeah, that was a quarter. This is a half. Of some
And instead
Winn-Dixie's
of messing up another measuring cup, since we've established it's a cup and a half,
just do a half a cup from the
just
cup.
do about a half. Just
Oh, excuse me.
I'm into the whole work smarter, not harder thing. Thank
I'm
you.
in the.
My not so lovely assistant's gonna get me a rubber scraper. There you go. Now, since we're using canned ingredients, here's a little pro tip that I was taught as a child, and I heard Alex, and I never can say her last name, say it on Chopped one time. Sugar will take away your canned taste. So I need just a little bit of sugar. We're going to use about 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, which in my world is a couple of pinches,
You'll find it.
if you can find it. Yeah, there we go. Just regular plain granulated sugar.
And there's a pro tip for you. Keep sugar, flour, things like that in a Ziploc bag. Keeps critters out. I recently had a bout of, what do you call this, some grain weevils. I don't know where they came from, but all of a sudden, I had to throw away like all the beans and everything I had in my cabinet because they were suddenly infested. Things like this were protected because they were in Ziplocs.
Or anything also that can handle a little bit of moisture, like your flour or cornmeal, dried beans. You can actually store them in your refrigerator or your freezer. And it will also keep the weevils out. All right, so now I believe we're ready to give this a stir, put it on some heat.
But wait, we need my favorite spoon. That's right. Fanfare, please. My favorite spoon.
Yeah, mine are
You wanna heat?
Go ahead, and we're gonna turn this on high to start.
No water?
No, no water.
No water. Okay.
This all cooks down into its own juices. It's a stew. It's supposed to be thick. If you add water, then it turns into a soup.
Did not know that. Okay, so we're just waiting on it to boil, and oh my goodness, would you look at that?
It's kind of doing a little bit of a dance there, and you can see just a couple of little bubbles. So in about 1 more minute, we're gonna cover it, turn it down, and let it go.
Yeah, you can see it's starting to bubble just a bit. This looks like it would be really good with rice, but that's just me.
All right, we're gonna give this just a nice little check. It's got a good little boil going on. Give it a little stir, keep it from sticking. You know, you want to stir it from time to time. That will keep it from sticking to the bottom. And just
That
put
top tip sounds familiar.
and just put the lid back on and let it go back to work. And you notice I got the stove turned down. It's about 2.5, 3. Nice low, medium low heat. So it should be done in, like I say, about 45 minutes. All right. So it's been 45 minutes to an hour. Just give it a little stir. Boy, that's some good thick stew. And this is what you call a good, cold weather, hearty Brunswick stew.
Stick to your ribs kind of meal.
Yeah, buddy. I personally like to eat it with garlic toast. You know, my brother, he likes the rice. You can eat it all by itself. You can eat it with saltines. It is your choice entirely.
There we go.
Just give it a stir and a good blow. I think I've got that one down pat.
As they say in Alabama, muy bueno.
Or something like that.
So there you have it, folks. That's my sister's Brunswick stew. Remember, go down in the comments and look for the link to Crawdaddy's crankbaits. Check them out. Make some amazing lures and such. Even if you don't fish, they're gorgeous products. And on that happy and healthy note, be seeing you.